Hello and welcome to the week 5 nomination ceremony for 1984 Power of 3. This week, Bryce, Sam T, and Tawny are the Power of 3 and must choose 2 people to nominate for eviction. If they cannot choose 2 people to nominate, then those 3 will be going up. So this week, the 3 of them could not come to a decision, which means that your nominations this week are Bryce, Sam T, and Tawny. So I am going to open the floor for any of the 3 of them to say any of their piece. Once we think we are done here, then we can end the recording. But for now, I'm going to let you guys go for it. If we could be respectful and please let the Power of 3 talk first, that would be wonderful.
Do one of you guys want to go first?
Oh, I would love to hear Sam's side of the story,
I would love to
honestly,
hear
because I feel
Sam's
like
side.
you and I have the same side over
Yeah.
here. So I would love to hear it from another perspective.
Sam, give it. Let's hear what you got.
Absolutely fine. Okay. So after Hunter's big blow up yesterday, we had a call, and there were 4 people that we had sort of agreed that we were going to consider. And then today we spoke and we had to go ordering them. And when we did order them, I put Nick and Caitlin as number 1 and 2 respectively, because they were the two people that I'd heard were leading the charge to evict Cindy and to save Hunter. Prior to the eviction that was made, there were 2 groups made, one to save Hunter and one to save Cindy. Not long after these groups were made, I got a very angry call from Nick, as apparently he'd been told that I'd been telling the people in the group that that they had to go and get in touch with Hunter and basically have a go at him, tell him he was going to be evicted, and I was called a bully. I've no idea where this came from, because I didn't ask anyone to do that. In actual fact, me and Hunter had made peace prior to the phone call with Nick. So I don't know where you heard that, Nick. But when you realise your mistake, you apologise, and I respect that. And I thought, thank you very much for that. I was quite hurt by the call, purely because prior to that, me and Nick had some decent conversations, just general talk, and we'd gotten really well. And so I would hope that instead of just automatically assuming that I'd done that, you'd have messaged and been like, is this true what I'm hearing, blah blah blah. And I would have gladly spoken to you then, but you decided to just come at me, which upset me. And then after the PO3 competition, we spoke again, and you told me that you thought that you knew you were going up this week, and at that point you weren't someone who I wanted to, because I hadn't had all the information. I went on to explain to Nick that I was upset by the fact that I wasn't given the benefit of the doubt, based purely because of our friendship, and I was just basically pretty much shouted at without the facts being right, and then you proceeded to then say that you thought I was trying to get you to grovel and apologise because I was in power. And anyone who knows me in this game knows that I don't like people who grovel. I want people to be running to the power, because I don't agree with that. And I was then, a couple of things came to my attention, and I'm not going to say from who or what was said, but which then showed that Nick was doing a few other things which made me unhappy, which is then why my mindset changed. And then I went on call with Bryce and Tawny, and which is why I wanted to make him my target. When we chatted today, Bryce and Tawny both put Sam, you, and Gianna as their 1 and 2 when we ordered them, and I put them as 3 and 4. And we all had fair and valid reason for each of the nominees, and for our ranking system, which is completely fair enough. I thought it would be the fairest. If it came across like that both of you had an agenda, it felt like both of you had been talking behind the scenes. You had both arranged, well, this is how we're going to play this thing. If I'm wrong, fair enough. That's how it came across. And then you were like, oh no, well, as me and Tawny, or as me and Bryce both have the same first 2, then it's going to have to be those 2. That's the fairest thing. And I said, no, why don't we do one from what you guys want and one from what I've said? And then you both strongly said you didn't feel comfortable, and you were strongly against putting up Caitlin and putting up Nick, which I found a little bit bizarre. But yeah, I'll just jot a few things down. So then I took some time just more to process and to think and to eat, and then we went back on call. I was contemplating what to do because I was fairly certain that you guys weren't going to budge. You weren't going to let us have one of each. So I was fairly certain that I was going to put us through up instead. So I mentioned that to you, and then things got a little bit heated on the call. And then Tony said to me that the only way that we were going to go up is if it was after the veto, so I didn't have a chance to save myself. Which I totally understand where you're coming from, because you were frustrated because you felt you were being railroaded, and that's completely generally fair. But
Why did it get heated though? You're leaving out a part here.
Am I? So what have I missed out?
Yeah, can we get a 5-minute limit on these kids?
Just let him
like,
finish, and then we'll have.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, keep going.
And then from saying that, I went off the call. I then got some fairly nasty messages from Bryce calling me a psycho, telling me to F off, and then I was told that you had caved and it would have been us, and you're happy with the two nominees that I said. But by that point, I was already convinced that you had already planned that if the veto was used, and you'd probably try and make sure that whoever won did use the veto, then you're going to do what Tony already said, which was to put us up. And I couldn't shake that from my head, which is why, after a lot of thought, I decided, no, I'd rather give it all a fair chance to play throughout the entire week rather than not have a chance to play. I've got nothing against you guys personally. I think you're both wonderful. We've had some decent conversations with both of you, and this is purely for the game. And if this does end up ruining my game, then so be it. That's fair enough. And I'm sorry if it's caused you guys any undue stress and frustration this week. But yeah, that's it.
All right, I'd like to take the floor, please. There's an important part here that's being left out, and that is, first of all, when we made the rankings, yeah, me and Tony had Gianni and Samuel at the top, so we thought maybe that would be fairest. But what he did not mention is that afterwards, when we had the rankings, we were still debating between the four. He came on call and he says, I am nominating Nick and Caitlin, both of them together, or we are going up together. He said, if you do not nominate both of them, we are going up. I said, at a point I said, okay, we can do Samu and Nick, or we can do Samu and Caitlin. We literally agreed, and he said, no, you're doing both, or we're going up. And Tony and I are like, what the shit? This man is psycho. What are you doing? Are you going to negotiate? What if we do someone outside the four? Do you want to do anyone outside the four? And in the game, he said, we will do nobody in the game except for Nick and Caitlin on the block. And we were like, you're fucking kidding me. Like, this is a joke. That's straight bullying tactics, which is the exact thing that he was yelling at Hunter about. The exact thing. It's so hypocritical. And I'd just like to say, it's kind of interesting how I've never been in drama. Tony hasn't. Sam has been in the center of drama with like 90,000 different people. And normally when that happens, there tends to be a little bit of a common denominator. We also agreed at the beginning to not say anything that we were doing in the Power of Three. Sam instantly went to Billy and said, I threw his name out and he saved him. Sam instantly went and said the four people who were on the block, and it spread around the house. Sam just compulsively lies. And I honestly trusted him before this. I know how often he talks to people. I know you've all heard this before from Hunter, from everybody else, but like, holy shit, I did not realize what the hell is going on in this man's head. It's just baffling to me. Afterwards, me and Tony even agreed, okay, whatever, fuck it. We don't want to go up. We will nominate Caitlin and we will nominate Nick. And he says, actually, no, we're going up. It's just been the most unbelievable thing I've ever been a part of. And I hope you guys can take Sam out and just keep some peace in this house, because in all my years of playing, I've never dealt with something this stupid and this unbelievable. That's what I gotta say.
Okay, and I'll throw in a little to what actually before, like, the chat was actually made. I got told by someone that Sam was actually going to be using this tactic prior to him actually using it, that he was going to make us nominate how he wanted to be what he wanted to nominate, or we would be going up. So that happened last night prior to the chat even being made. We make the chat, we have a call, we decide 4 people. We're like, we'll sleep on it, figure it out tomorrow. What exactly we're going to do. Talk while I was at lunch, and then as soon as like the store closed. In the time that I got back from lunch and that we got the last person out of the store, we made a list. So that all that's true. Bryce and I had the same top 2 and the same bottom 2. Sam's was completely flipped. When I made the suggestion that we need to call and come to some type of agreement, like as soon as, we get people out, don't tell me to say less. Let's just...
Mama, that was to Billy. That was to Billy.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry,
that was definitely about shots.
No, that was saying
shots right now.
Which, I mean, I'm just gonna say, if we want to like shotgun some beers after this, I'm down.
Don't drink beer, or I would. But prior to Sam even saying on the call that he was going to be doing that, he literally sent a text, and I will. Oh shoot, I'm at 20%, y'all. I'll copy that message and post it to the house chat. But he basically said the exact same thing. I'm assuming I still hopefully have a copy of it, and I sent it to my prod chat, so that way he can't go and delete it. Yeah, so all that did happen. He basically said, this is what we're going to do. Oh, no, not that one. It was one earlier in the day. Not the long message. But, yeah, I'm high right now. Don't mind me. Yeah, so I did say that as soon as yeah, cool. That's fine. Just please, family and work members, don't watch this. So basically, I did say that if we are all going to go up, then we're going to agree to your nominations, and then we'll wait until veto happens. We'll get someone to use the veto. We'll all go up. I did say that, because if he's going to quote unquote like bluff or threaten us with something, I should be allowed to do the same thing back, because I'm not going to sit there and take that being coming at me. I don't deserve that. Bryce doesn't deserve that. There is no reason why we couldn't do one of our top 2 and one of his top 2. There is no reason for that. So if he's going to play this game, we're here to play. I'm here to play veto. I know Bryce is here to play veto. And all I can hope is that whoever else gets picked, that you can kind of see how he is, how he's acting, how he's been this entire game. And if you win veto, to take either Bryce or myself off, so that way we can send Sam out of here. And if it just so happens to be me to go, what the fuck ever, I just hope that y'all can see how he's acting and that y'all don't take it.
I'd like to add one more thing too. First of all, Sam's probably gonna have this narrative that like me and Tawny were like working together and like conspiring against him. I came into this thinking it was going to be me and Sam arguing with Tawny over nominations, especially considering I nominated Tawny the last time I was in power. So we're not on the same page at all. We literally bonded over the fact that Sam was fucking miserable. And second of all, Sam's gonna, just to give a Raven-Symoné future moment, Sam's whole thing that he's gonna do is play the victim, because that's what he does every time. He's gonna say, oh, I'm just so upset. I was just trying not to hurt anyone. Bryce called me a psycho, which, yeah, I was like, you're being psycho right now by refusing to nom and go up. And, oh, they're just so mean to me, and like, I'm just so nice and honest to everybody and all that stuff. Please don't buy it. He's not a victim. He knows what he's doing, and he has put his hands in too many baskets. That's not a saying, but if it was a saying, it would apply. Okay, now I'm done.
And like, if nothing else, look at how calculated Sam is being. Now, two different people have all just mentioned how Sam has left something out of a conversation, left a piece of a conversation out, because he's using that calculation to fit his narrative. And he's done that with Hunter. He's done that with Sean. And yeah, right now he's doing it with other people, and it's not you. Maybe that's the way you want to play, and that's fine. But at what point in the game is he going to use those calculation tactics against you? That's what we really have to focus on here, people, is he's leaving out bits and pieces of information. When he was talking about me, he left out bits and pieces of information. He left out the things that he needed to fit his narrative. So we just have to focus on that. focus on the things that he's leaving out to fit his narrative, because he's going to do the same thing. He's going to keep doing it because it keeps working. And when are we going to stop that from working?
I just want to add a little something in too. Kind of, I guess, piggybacking off of what Nick said, because I was gonna like kind of bring that up as well. I feel like Sam has gotten his way with the majority of the votes in this game. That's one of the reasons why I voted Cindy last night, was because I knew Sam was so gung-ho about getting Hunter. And I was like, you know what? Like, fuck this. Like, Sam's just, like, trying to run this ship. No. And I feel like he just is playing with a lot of people's heads.
Okay, so we are going to do veto picks really quick, and then if anybody has anything else to say, we can go back to that. So let me go there. As the nominees, Tawny, Bryce, and Sam T will all be playing the veto. We will be picking 3 more names. Who's shocked? I'm sorry. Okay.
Are you fucking kidding?
Jason, you're playing the veto once again.
Okay, try putting his name in a different spot next time.
I brought in a flower tonight.
They already did put his name in a different spot.
And Gianna. Okay, so Jason, Xander, Gianna, plus our 3 nominees, which is the power of 3, are our players for the veto. This veto, I believe, will be semi-live. You will need to bring your solo cups to this veto competition, please. Schedule a time with production. We'll figure out a time that's going to be due tomorrow night. With that, I believe that is all I have for you guys. I'm going to leave the recording running for a little bit, and I'll stop it eventually. So if you guys want to talk again, go at it.
I'm gonna head to bed, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
So yeah.
Hey, bye,
Who's
Sam.
trying to shotgun some beers?
Yeah.
I can't right now.
I can't shotgun because I only have bottles, but I'll chug.
Okay, hold on. Let me go get my laptop and my beer.
I can do like a gay shotgun and have a glass of wine.
Okay,
Hey,
I would like to
yeah,
say, because
that
I
works.
think everyone whose name got brought up is still here, question mark?
Yeah, hi,
Out of the
that's
four?
me.
Okay,
And
so I kind of want to piggyback off of like what I said earlier, how I got forewarned that Sam was gonna do the whole thing of, you know, making us vote the way he wanted. So, Bryce, I'm sure you can attest to this. A lot of last night was just me kind of nodding and agreeing and not really putting in too much of my own opinion, correct?
Bryce
Is
went to
Bryce
go get
still here?
wine.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he really just
Bounce.
leave?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Like the one like second I'm not like on that screen. Well, I'll repeat it whenever he comes back. But that's because I was scared to speak a lot of my own mind, because I have no problem saying this. Yes, Cindy, my vote was on you most of the day. But it did change. And
Can't
it's
confirm.
like I told the people that, you know, the 3 of y'all that did vote to save Hunter, I believe I think I told at least 2 of you. I don't remember, Sam, if I talked to you about it completely. But
Nope.
why I did what I did and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in.
Oh, you're good. Me just losing my train of thought is just fantastic. Oh, Bryce, you're back. Okay, would you agree that last night I was just kind of nodding and agreeing a lot and hardly, like, didn't really put in too much of my own opinion, at least until y'all asked about it?
I would agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, and it was because I got forewarned that I basically was going up if we didn't agree. So I was just going to let anything happen.
I just
But then
don't know
I
what-
did not like the fact that he was kind of whenever he actually officially pushed it, that's when my little anger button got nudged a little bit.
So who was it? Was Jason, Gianna, and
Xander.
Xander were picked.
Yep.
I will beg you guys on my hands and knees, if you win, use it on Tani, use it on me, do not use it. All of those are lovely options that I would be so happy and ecstatic about.
Do you remember why Gianna's name got brought up though? Because that I don't quite remember, because the other three were like obvious because they voted to
I
save
think Gianna's
Hunter.
name was brought up because the three of us didn't talk to her. All three of us said we didn't really talk to her all that much.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't know. It was, so we said we can include her in the floor.
Because we were just trying to like
Wow,
narrow
okay.
down names at first, so that
That's
way it was,
fine.
we had like a smaller pool.
But
I
I've
love-
been trying to get to talk to you. I've been trying to talk to you all more. I really have.
You have.
Just
And
saying.
Yeah, and I know I'm bad about it too because I also work a lot.
Gianna, you have reached out.
But you haven't
Me
responded
too.
much to me. Like I've been messaging you and I never got a response back. Just saying.
I know I'm really bad about opening a message when I can't respond and then forgetting to like swipe to make it unread again. And like I said, it's completely like my fault too. And yeah.
Yeah.
And Bryce, I've been talking to you too. And I
You have
told you
been
to
talking
tell
to me.
me if I was even a thought of going up, and you never
Well,
responded back.
I will say you didn't go up. There was a lot of other stuff going on. If you would have gone up, I would have messaged you, but
Same.
we've known this was going to happen for a little bit. And there's just been so much going on. It was kind of the furthest thing on my mind.
Because there were very few people that I think even knew about anything that was happening, at least that I'm aware of. Because I know that you had talked to Caitlin and Nick after we decided what was happening.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate
Gianna, I will say
that.
you have reached out to me a lot recently. I do agree with that.
But I have been trying to talk to you all more. I'm just
You
saying.
have. You have.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good. Can I, oh wait, never mind. I don't even know what I was
Can I
gonna
circle
say.
back to what Tawny was saying? Because you were saying why you switched your vote.
Why I switched it?
Yeah, that's what you like forgot when you got distracted.
Oh, I ended up switching it basically because I realized that the votes weren't there for Hunter, and it was just like why I had it on you and not Hunter was mostly just based off the fact that I talked to him more. So it was, yeah, I really was teeter-tottering. Like I basically had my vote locked in on you like that morning, and then got added to both of the chats. And it just kind of towards the end of it, like it was right before I joined the Zoom call, I'm like, nope. And I switched.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, my vote towards you was, like, nothing against you either. It was just, part of it was also that, like, I was talking to Hunter more. Also, part of it was that, you know, I feel like I had this thing against Sam T, and I said, you know what, I don't want Sam T to get his way this week. He did, but at least I tried.
Yeah, I thought it was going somewhere other than like, oh, it was with majority, so I was curious about that. But if it's just like, oh, it was with majority, cool. I don't.
Yeah, it was like, what do I want? Do I want to have just a small portion of people mad at me because I flipped, or do I want the majority of the house mad at me because I was in that minority too? Like, so it's like I didn't want to make a stupid move.
Okay, I am going to end the recording. You guys can still stay on here if you want to, though. But yeah, viewers, thank you for sticking around. Have a good night.